Hi, how are you? How's everyone on a last day sort of before the holidays? Mhm. Okay, so this is part two. Are you there? Masayaw pa si Lola eh. So this is part two of the management of anxiety disorder. It will be interactive. I hope you were, you kind of informed about this. Ah, okay lang. Okay na siguro ako. Tapos buksan mo lang yung pinto. Para my angel here is, yeah. So, it'll be interactive. Hopefully, we'll have a lively interactive session. So, part two will be about a series of cases. No, not series, three or four or five. And it will be an application of our previous lecture, which I know was quite heavy, but it discussed all of the anxiety disorders, the modes of management. You remember the slide said the best approach to managing anxiety disorders is a combination of both pharmacotherapy and psychotherapy. By the way, I'm Dr. Portia Valles Luz po. I'm a member of the psychiatry department. I'm a child, adolescent, and adult psychiatrist. These slides are our slides care of the department. Okay. Ah, happy birthday. Hmm. Hello. So this is gonna be how it is. Excuse me. Can you help me? Doesn't want to move. Making this pindot. It's fine. Okay, thank you. Sige, Elaine, dito ka naman sa likod. Sige. Elaine is our secretary. You've met her already. Elaine Detoyato, my favorite secretary. If you recall, we discussed kasi pharmacotherapy, no? And then, number of slides na ito? Para ayun na kung half time. 47. 47. So pag number 20, nasa na yung page 20? Ito yung mga pages. Remember, slide was shown to you already. Now, it's difficult naman to say memorize it, but in time, it will be, easily retrieved in our memories should we see these cases and over. So, this is parang the summary of what was spoken of. You have the different classifications of medications. You have first line medications for each particular condition, GAD, panic disorder, and separation anxiety disorder, the more common anxiety disorders. So tingnan nyo lang mga first line, the second line. So we really listen to the priorities of choices. So your MAUIs, ang laking question mark yun na, we don't use it anymore actually. Okay. Review. Ayaw. Yan. Something wrong with my finger. Okay. So, yung psychotherapies naman for anxiety disorder, supportive, cognitive, behavior therapy, psychodynamic, these are the more common used psychotherapies in the treatment of anxiety disorders. Okay. Okay, let's just discuss some cases briefly. Remember in our lecture when I started, one of the first pages showed this this case. AB, read this with me please, is a 25-year-old female who sought consult due to recurrent episodes of sudden onset of palpitations, chest discomfort, shortness of breath, trembling of upper extremities, and nausea, occurring at least twice a month for the past 6 months. So, na-darken naman yung print ng mga significant items. This has been happening whenever she goes outside her house. She eventually started avoiding going outside the past month, worried due to fear of having another panic attack. So there's the cue, and is increasingly worried about having another sudden episode. Because of these, she couldn't go to work and just stays at home. What could be the differential diagnosis for this case? So naka-highlight diyan, 'di ba, when you say nagpapanik ako, you think it's an emotional reaction. You're taranta, you're emotionally uh spent, or but this is giving you a list of physical symptoms actually. So panic is always related to something that's physical happening to a person who is emotionally charged or in conflict. So what could be the differential diagnosis for this case? Maybe we can have a raise of hands. Paano ba yun? Paano ko nakikita? You can just, say it out loud. Can I just call a name? Hmm, is it all right? And I just call a name? Okay. Yeah, Miss Castano? Yes, yes, yes. Sige, sige. Wow, yes, sige. Ayan ba yan? Kala ko hand ngayon eh. Yes, anybody or Miss Castano or Miss Ko? Differential. Meron ba? How many are in ba ba? Sa magtatawag? Oo, sige. Yung mga ano ko na lang, precept. Hindi nga. So let's just do this. Hi guys. So what are your differentials? If I can just ask one of you. Okay, let's go to the primary impression. That must be easier. Pwede namang hindi mag-sign out. Anybody? What is your primary impression of the case? Or you can, pwede ba i-print?
Ayun po daw,
Ano eh.
panic disorder po.
All, Naku, Miss Esposo, hello, how are you? You have an answer to this, Miss Esposo?
Doc, panic disorder po.
Hindi ko marinig.
Panic disorder po, Doc.
What do you think? You have agoraphobia, what else? Social phobia, separation anxiety disorder. Anybody? One more try. Maybe Gomez? Sige, hindi na bale. Ayaw. Hindi ko alam eh kung may sumasagot. For this case would be panic disorder. Thank you. Ayaw na gumalaw. Okay, so remember panic disorder is, this is a slide that you've already seen, is defined as having these particular conditions: palpitations, tremors, sweating, dyspnea, nausea, and chest discomfort or choking. These are characterized by abrupt surges of intense fear or discomfort that reaches a peak with minutes, accompanied by at least 4 of the following psychologic and behavioral symptoms. So, yan. So, yun yung sagot sa tanong. So, remember, there is also this particular criterion. There is anticipatory fear of avoidance. You fear avoidance. I mean, avoiding it in itself causes the patient or the person panic already. Okay, I'll try again. What is the most appropriate management plan? Anybody? Narinig ako.
Doc,
Yes.
Doc, a combination po of psychotherapy and pharmacological means po.
Thank you. Yay. Precept group, Mr. Fabros. Thank you. So, I mean, you're right. It's combination. And what would that include? This is the treatment goal, no? Of course, always in all of our cases, your treatment goal is the extinction of the symptoms. And then after that, you plan for a longer term management. You rule out other medical conditions or substances that might be causing or exacerbating the symptoms. Hindi ba, nun sa ating criteria, parating merong criteria na we have to be sure that this is not due to a medical problem or maybe any substance that the patient has taken, because any of these conditions, I can't name all of them, can mimic or can appear like it's a panic condition. You have to control the current anxiety symptoms. I mentioned that earlier. And you maintain remission and prevent relapse. That's a lot. That's a whole load because you have to see your patient for a number of months to a year. Initially that would be generous, or a good amount of time you can give to our patients. It's always 6 months, if longer, for a year. Okay, you remember this? You do these diagnostics. You have to clear out the patient of any physical symptoms. And every time we see a patient with panic symptoms, we refer these patients to a cardiologist or an IM. Because of its physicalness, then we begin to think it's probably a heart condition. So you do you have to do an ECG. Maybe it's something that's also an endocrine problem, like thyroid. You have to do a thyroid function test. Remember, thyroid conditions also have symptoms like restlessness, sweating, like a panic attack also, palpitations and all that. So chest x-ray also, because you also have shortness of breath as one of the symptoms, or in the whole presentation of a panic condition. CBC, we'll see if there's also something to do with any blood condition. You check your electrolytes. Baka nahilo yung pasyente, baka naman gutom. Check your FBS. So everything has a reason. Like, for example, if your sodium is low, you can faint. So part of the symptomatology of a panic attack or a panic disorder is they faint. It's terrible when you have a panic attack. It's like it's doomsday for some of our worst patients. So you have to do baseline tests. Remember, you're going to give medications, and you'd like to make sure that in the drug-drug interaction, in the safety levels of your medications, that none of them are responsible for liver, kidney, and all of the other parameters. Okay, drug assay. So you rule out a particular intake of a drug that may mimic a panic disorder. And syempre, pregnancy test. Like one of the medications, I'm sure you remember anyway, we will go to that later. Yung mga classifications ng ng medications which are from A to D that are going to be toxic to the condition of a pregnant woman. Okay, so this is also something that you saw. I showed that earlier. So ito yung first line for a panic disorder. Again, the SSRIs and the SNRIs. What is the SSRI? It's selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. It used to be wow, but then there's a better one because SNRIs, that's serotonin and norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors are first line for using for our conditions such as panic disorder. And all the way down. I'm sure that has remained familiar to you. Our last lecture showed this, your TCAs, your tricyclic antidepressants. It's not recommended for SADs, but for your condition, second line siya, but I'd rather not because your SSRIs naman and SNRIs are so available. So remember your MAUIs, they can be dangerous because it can cause a hypertensive crisis, especially for you have to mind the diet of your patient. It's probably why we're not using much of it. Okay, so down the line. So ito yung so titingnan nyo to, you use this particular criteria or starting dosage. It's encircled here. We use SSRIs there. And then we encircled also benzodiazepines. They're also quick relief to your patient, but it is only given until, remember, 12 weeks, 6 to 12 weeks from case to case. Okay? The hardest in giving benzodiazepines is because it can be too sedating. And number two, it can also be habituating. So we give it a very, but what is important with our patients is we always say if they're taking medications, they always have to be under the patient's guidance or supervision. So I always tell my patients, kung may gamot, may check-up. Because sometimes we see them on medications, some not good for them anymore. It's causing them a lot of metabolic problems as an effect of those medications and they don't follow up. So there. Okay, for the case of AB, the pharmacological approaches would be SSRIs or SNRIs. Okay, you can give paroxetine. Paroxetine is something that you give that for patients who also have problems with sleeping because it's sedating. Your other SSRIs, if you check the charts that were shown in the previous lecture or in the previous slide, some of them are alerting. But sometimes some patients, even if you give the alerting or less alerting medications, they really have somnolence due to the medication. But that's not all the time, no? So, but we have classification. Paroxetine is a sedating medication. So we can give that. And also we can give alprazolam, which is a benzodiazepine. So this is one parang menu for this patient. And then psychotherapy. We do supportive psychotherapy. We psychoeducate. And then we can also refer to the patient for cognitive behavior therapy and psychodynamic therapy. So usually we start with psychoeducation. If you recall, psychoeducation is knowing very well about the condition. You can explain to your patient what the condition is, what the biology of it is, and what the psychodynamic issues are about it, psychological issues are about it. So if you have the two explained, you target the pharmacotherapy approach and you say, these are the medications, we're targeting this particular chemical, and this is the psychosocial problem. And with this kind of talking sessions, we try to slowly unburden the patient of issues that are spoken of in processing, in psychotherapy. So yun yung parang first line. So you'll know, you make the patient expect, what are we doing here? Di ba? But of course, more details than what I have just said. Okay? So siguro we can have another question answer. Oo. Hi. Okay, so the next patient is EM. EM is a 25-year-old male, master student in psychology. He has been having anxiety whenever he is about to report or called in class. He could be anxious during presentations and recitations. He would have palpitations and cold sensation on her hands with associated trembling and chest discomfort. He would avoid going to class when he has a presentation or recitation. Hirap, no? Alam mo yung sagot pero hindi ka sasagot. Kasi, So, just the thought that he would be reciting or presenting makes him not want to go to school and give him physical discomfort. He's anxious due to fear that he will be embarrassed or others will judge him for not being able to answer questions correctly. He has been experiencing this since he was in college. Okay. So, matagal-tagal na rin. What is your working diagnosis? Hi. Pwede bang i-move yung ano? Any volunteer na lang. Nandyan ba si Mr. Volunteer? Anybody? Nice sana if I could be with you in person. Salanga, yes.
Hi po, Doc. The working
Hi.
diagnosis for this is social anxiety disorder.
Yes, bingo, mismo. I think most of us naman, have that for our working diagnosis. And everything else serves as a differential. I mean, if you look at it in the classification, in the group of anxiety disorders, I think may point yung lahat na yun. So you go through the algorithm of differentiating, and so we have social anxiety as the actual diagnosis. You remember there is fear and anxiety about social situations. Nakakatakot, nakaganon talaga yun. May kausap naman ako dito. So you avoid the situations wherein they might be negatively evaluated. And, there are specifiers for this. Sometimes some performers actually take in a very low dose, and we advise it also for some of our patients, if need be. So the social situation is avoided or endured with intense fear or anxiety. The fear or anxiety is out of proportion to the actual threat posed by the social situation or social cultural context. So remember the 6 months duration. We always have to check that. Kasi kung hindi naman in time, within that time, you can't call this already social anxiety because it does happen. It does happen. Okay, so it used to be called social phobia before, but it's now currently aptly called social anxiety disorder. Okay. So what is your plan for management? So siguro ang pinaka best answer dito, we do pharmacotherapy and also psychotherapy. Oops, okay. Page na ba tayo? 18. So we'll do this more hurriedly, so we will finish the whole interactive session. Your treatment goals should be to rule out other medical conditions or substances that might be causing or exacerbating symptoms. So paulit-ulit yung DSM-5, ano? Kasi totoo naman, baka talagang may ibang condition. So, normal, abnormal ba yan? First, then biological ba yan or functional? Meaning, is it a true medical problem due to a condition like a thyroid problem or a drug, etc.? And then you go ahead, if you all check that out already, you control the current, or you can do it simultaneously. You can control the current anxiety symptoms. Probably that would call for medications already, or helping the patient calm down and all that. And then you maintain the remission maintain remission and prevent relapse. Okay, so you do these diagnostics again. Lahat ng anxiety disorders, I mean, because we're here in that particular condition, not necessarily just anxiety disorders, we have to be very sure talaga that we're not just dealing with a medical problem, a physical problem, or a drug problem. You know, when they're toxic, they can also present with panic symptoms. So, ito na naman, you do an ECG, the thyroid function test, chest x-ray, electrolytes, etc. So, isusulat mo yun sa order. Request, yan, CBC, FBS, HbA1c, if, para to be sure, SGPT, SGOT, BUN, creatinine, ano pa ba, T3, T4, TSH, CBC, ano pa ba, ECG, chest x-ray, the whole gamut, and drug assay if applicable. Okay, at saka pala yung lipid profile because, you know, you have to have a baseline. Remember, all our medications can cause a complication of metabolic problems like your kidney, your liver, or kidney, liver, heart, etc. can have some problems, no? So we advise every 6 months, maybe in a year, that basic lab tests are done. Ayan. So ito na naman siya. Ano ba yung yung social anxiety disorder? Sorry, sabi ko kanina separation anxiety disorder. I meant social anxiety disorder. So the first line treatment would be again your SNRIs and your SSRIs. Bida talaga yung dalawang gamot na yan. These are the latest. And you know what? There are still other modes of mechanisms in medicating your anxiety disorders that have not been well studied yet. So there's really more to come. So we're looking again at the same chart. So this is your initial dose. This is in your textbook also. There. The first group would be your SSRIs. And then your benzodiazepines. So we use benzodiazepines because it really works fast and some of them are short duration naman, so it does not necessarily leave the patient sedated. Okay? So see there your recommended starting and maintenance dosages, but in table 2, you see the common medications used for recurrent anxiety and their initial and daily dosages. So, ito yung kwento ni EM. Pharmacologically, we use SSRIs, SNRIs. Well, as a choice, we're giving him sertraline 25 milligrams. It's an alerting medication. So, we also give it to very young people. Alprazolam at 250 micrograms as needed, or propranolol. This is also a cardiac medication. It's a beta blocker before performance. Kasi it helps regulate the palpitations or the irregular heartbeat. So for psychotherapy, we psychoeducate the patient. Part of psychoeducation pala is telling them that these symptoms are happening because it is because whichever neurologic system is affected, you describe, and all of these tracts are connected to the different parts of the body, your heart, your stomach, your brain, etc. Thus, the presence of the symptoms. You go further down, and then you say, that's why we give these medications. Supportive psychotherapy, and then we can also do cognitive behavior therapy, psychodynamic psychotherapy, and behavior therapy. Okay, so the choice of these therapies, don't get overwhelmed, have particular indications naman. And we don't have to go through the details at this point. Thank you for that. Okay, ano nga? Just take a break, paki-silent lang. Sige. Thank you. So BC is our next patient. Balik ka na lang. 30-year-old male marketing assistant. You're half time already. He has been having. Are we okay?
Yes po, Doc.
Okay, we're okay. Thank you. Because I'm okay. Okay. 30-year-old male marketing assistant. He has been having persistent difficulty initiating sleep for the past 6 months, associated with preoccupations about his performance and tasks at work, with muscle tension, easy fatigability, and difficulties in concentrating. He's noted to be easily irritable by his coworkers, and he started after he failed to secure a contract with a big client. Okay? So, what is your working diagnosis? Sorry, hindi ko nahirit. So what is your working diagnosis? So, pag tinignan mo to, parang associated with but worrying, muscle tension, it's affecting him, no? And so, parang you remember this condition that we talked about? Excessive anxiety and worry? Tension, restlessness, difficulty. Sometimes our patients have very morbid worries about what might happen. And sometimes we think medyo overvalued yung ideas nila or close to a paranoia. So we must be very sure that we get a good history because some of our patients can cross the line and might be close to a psychosis, paranoia, too suspicious because of their worry. Excessive anxiety and worry. Like, I have a patient, I remember, like this patient, may stress siya, tapos naisip niya, pinagalitan siya sa work, naisip niya, baka yung boss niya, baka kung anong iniisip, baka mamaya, hindi siya papapasukin sa bahay niya. Yung mga ganun ba? Sa office, too many worries that are in excess. But when you're in a height of anxiety, you'll think that's just exactly what you feel. And you'll never think that you're going beyond what's normal and what's pathology. So it's associated with 3/6 of these symptoms, 3/6, GAD, 3/6. Okay, always in the duration of 6 months, remember, restlessness, feeling keyed up, feeling fatigued, there's difficulty of concentration, mind going blank. That's why kung minsan our patients parang they don't seem to be able to memorize, they cannot pay attention, judgment is poor kasi yung concentration nila, yung cognitive functions nila naapektuhan din. So nakakangarag talaga ang GAD in particular. Irritability, muscle tension, and sleep disturbance. 3 out of these 6 symptoms. They most often coexist with another mental disorder. Some of our patients, they have GAD, they have panic attacks also, and they have social anxiety disorder. So sometimes we put their mixed anxiety disorder. But, they can recover naman. They will. Generalized anxiety disorder is characterized by these particular symptoms. Okay, you can just go through your previous lectures. What is your plan of management? So we do pharmacotherapy and then we also do psychotherapy. It has got to be both. The treatment goals for our patient BC is to rule out other medical conditions of substances that might be causing or exacerbating the symptoms. Where are we now? So, okay, so we're still good. Yeah. Okay, so so when you rule out other medical conditions or substances, you go the same way And you also try to check, no, syempre, in a real case, you also try to check, meron bang aggravating circumstances in the life of this patient? When a patient comes to us, all the time, we seek out the histories and the details because while you're doing treatment, there might be other factors that are coming into their life. So that's why we're always trying to control remission and prevent relapse. Maintain remission and prevent relapse. Not just controlling the anxiety symptoms, no? Not just controlling the anxiety symptoms kasi hindi naman gamot-gamot lang. Remember, psychotherapy or processing the patient's symptoms, if the patient is still symptomatic, the patient is so symptomatic, and then you try to make halukay and ask processing questions, and what happened, where did it happen, what did you feel, you might just be an exacerbation to the patient's condition. You might trigger a panic attack, in fact, in your own clinic. So you have to be very careful also when you have a patient under treatment. You have to be working with caution because you really have to control first the current anxiety symptom. Get the history, okay? But make sure that you're not causing too much anxiety on the patient. You must be not judgmental. We learned that early on in second year. And you also should be empathetic. You should be always cautious that not too many questions. You always have to be wary of this because sometimes you already see them gasping for breath or tearful na. Then it's time to stop. Maybe you don't need to go deeper down. They're not ready to talk about whatever issues or even make a description of the trigger of this particular incident. So you can say it looks like you're feeling quite emotional. We don't have to continue with these questions and we can reserve that for our next meeting. Kasi you're trying to maintain remission if the patient is getting better after 1, 2 doses or how many doses of medications. So you don't also want to cause a relapse right in your clinic. Okay? So these are the workups again. Mhm. So for GAD, these are your medications. Bida talaga si SSRI. You remember our SSRIs kasi are controlling the norepinephrine side effects. So, which is, if it's very strong, it can add up to the anxiety of the patient. So, the first line, SNRI, is probably much more a better choice, but I think it's less available or more expensive. So your TCAs also, they can cause a lot of anticholinergic side effects, no matter how much this is talking about it being a second line treatment. You don't want your patient to have dryness of the mouth, tingling sensation, parang palpitations and all that. And you remember that it can cause very difficult cardiac side effects. So yun ang problema, but long before, this is the only ones we've had. Parang review lang ito. Yung MAUIs naman natin, hindi ba? It's almost not used, at least in our practice, because the better ones ball and it causes the breakdown of a particular substance tyrosine, which can cause a lot of interaction and it can also cause a hypertensive crisis, and then it may be more detrimental in the long run. So, yun. Tapos may dietary constraints ka pa dyan. Okay, if you notice also, we mentioned quetiapine just because we were in this particular slide. Quetiapine, remember, second line din siya. Quetiapine is what classification of medication among your antipsychotics? Anybody?
Atypical po, Doc.
Yes, it's an atypical antipsychotic. It's a second generation antipsychotic. But you use it only for low dose. So parang ang bisa niya, ang attack niya, parang benzodiazepine. But of course, your benzodiazepines are much more sedating. And there's your GABA pathway that is also used as one of the neurologic or neurochemical pathways of benzodiazepine. So, okay, quetiapine can be used on a very low dose. The preparations come in 25 and 50. So, pwede siya. Okay, so eto na naman si chart. Yan, binilugan na naman si SSRI and SNRI. And then also yung kapartner, benzodiazepine. Ganito yan. Kung your patient comes in very, very, very panic or ano nang kaso to, in a peak of panic, remember, I want you to know this, that your SSRIs, SNRIs, and even your TCAs, they shoot up its effect slowly. So like 7 days, 10 days, 14 days. So you have a patient who's panicking and then, well, you're no instant help, diba? Sayang naman that they're there already. So what you do is you can start the patient on a very low dose, like yung low dose benzodiazepine to hit the anxiety symptoms as soon as possible to give the patient relief. But remember, you cannot give that the whole time during treatment. You have to try to bring it down and bring it down. And so when it is brought down already to a certain point of relief, your antidepressants or your anti-anxiolytics, which are your SSRIs and your SNRIs, begin to raise up. And it is maintained to a certain period, maybe 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, depende sa pangyayari, kung maayos na yung pasyente ninyo, lifestyle change, etc., etc. Get that? You start with a pack, yung talagang, tapos, as it goes, you discontinue your benzodiazepines because medyo patient is okay na, and then your antidepressants stay at that level where it is already therapeutic. Plus, your psychotherapy goes on together with it, making the patient talk, releasing his pressures and tension, whatever, and then makes decisions on what changes in life he has to do. But of course, we know it's not that easy. Okay? So, eto na si BC. Yun na naman yung gagawin natin sa kanya. So, our choice for this patient would be escitalopram. It's usually, I think, in 10 milligram preparation. So, 5 milligram siya. Yeah, so, partner parati sila ng clonazepam, especially for our patients who are so giddy, restless, cannot sleep. For our patients who are anxious, they cannot sleep. So, it's hard for them to sleep. Hard starter to sleep. Because worry, worry, worry. So you can give this, and you can give a sedating antidepressant also in the form of maybe paroxetine. This escitalopram is not. So just for that information. So it's really parang you get it? It's really parang combination, partner siya. So yeah, you do these psychotherapies, you have a whole lot of choice, but you start with supportive definitely and psychoeducation. Okay, the next case would be, okay, we're still right on time. 60-year-old female, known case of diabetes and hypertension. You know that already. With a history of untreated goiter. He has been having sudden onset episodes of palpitations, shortness of breath, persistent tremors on extremities, nausea, dizziness, excessive sweating, and hot sensation in her body. She denies stressors, but admitted worrying about her current symptoms. What is your working impression? Okay, let's just go ahead. In the interest of time. Sige. So you consider an anxiety disorder due to another medical condition, and you rule out panic disorder. Okay? So, kasi yun, dami-dami niyang symptoms. Tapos, ayan na nga, may diabetes and hypertension. Yung antemano, you know that these conditions can also cause the same symptoms. So, you consider ruling out these particular conditions. And panic disorders can actually be rooted from a medical condition. What is your plan of management? Rule out other medical conditions or substances that might be causing or exacerbating symptoms. And if that is the condition that is responsible for it, you have to address that first and foremost. That's always part of your thinking plan. So, yeah. There you go. For all psychiatric conditions, cataclysmic psychosis, mood disorders, anxiety problems, etc., you have to make sure that this is not an organic problem. So for this particular condition, for JK, we do laboratory workup here, and the blood sugar revealed uncontrolled blood sugar and increased FT3, FT4, and decreased TSH. You treat the underlying condition, and then you refer to an IM or an endocrinologist. If the medical condition is controlled and still with persistent anxiety symptoms, you reassess for possible primary anxiety disorder. If with primary anxiety disorder, you start with SSRI with low drug interaction, like for example, escitalopram, 5 milligrams per day. Kasi if you don't admit this patient, then you'll have in between times of maybe a week or 2 weeks. So what do you do with an anxious patient who's waiting for a line-up in the IM clinic? Siyempre, titignan mo pa rin yun. Kasi minsan hindi ka agad natitignan ng IM. Unless you tell them you have to really go to an IM because that needs to be. In the meantime, whether with a medical problem, together with an anxiety symptoms, you continue your treatment as a psychiatrist. Okay, so what are the important, things that must be remembered here? Sorry, I'm doing this. This is very important. This is very important. Second line, first line. And maybe also for our use for this particular topic, this is very important, and also for us to see the differences between each generic medication under your SSRIs, your SNRIs, and your TCAs, because each of them have strengths and weaknesses. Okay? Sige. So, before we close, I hope you're still with me.
Yes po, Doc.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Fabros. Yeah. I wish I knew all of you, but your names are here naman. Yep, I know you're all home. I'm glad. Okay, so let's see lang. Let's just check this out. This is like, testing what we learned, what I learned also from doing this lecture once again. So this is basic. This is very important. So, yeah. Okay, so maybe we can, this question pala to. A patient was diagnosed to have panic disorder. So, Chung, we know what that is about. And was prescribed fluoxetine. So that's an SSRI. Yeah? It was the first one. I think I was still in training. Yes, in 19 kopong-kopong. So mga 80s. Middle 80s, late 80s. This came about. It was the one that came after TCA. So what a relief, no? It had all the things that was so good as against TCA, but TCA was okay na rin naman, except for the hard side effect on cardiac. There was like a sudden death syndrome report, mga ganyan, at saka masyado yung anticholinergic effects. Which of the following is true regarding the mechanism of action of the medication the patient is taking? Pwede na lang sigurong raise of hands. It blocks, pwede ba yon sa ganitong venue? It blocks the reuptake of serotonin, which increases the concentration of this neurotransmitter. It promotes reuptake of serotonin, which decreases the concentration of this neurotransmitter at the synapse. It blocks the reuptake of serotonin and GABA. Siyempre may GABA, no? GABA, parang yun yung sinasabi ng mga benzodiazepines, no? So, I guess we have 2 left as choice. What do you think? Anybody? Are we left with 2 or just 1? Mr. Fabros, tingin mo.
So, letter A po.
Ano tingin ng lahat? Tama naman, Mr. Fabros and the whole group. Letter A. Okay. It blocks the reuptake of serotonin, which increases the concentration of these neurotransmitters at the synapse. So, serotonin is the bida-bida, di ba? So, it keeps it there so that you keep that high or the feeling of good, which you find in bananas, pero tonalada dapat. There, so that ma-maintain yung kasarinlan o yung, the joy, the peace, the calmness. Okay, this one. Yeah. Tama ba yung oras ko? Ayan, K11 na pala. Which of the following is an example of a serotonin and norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor? Tingin ninyo. This was in the lecture but if you have forgotten, or maybe some of you remembered, which one? What do you think? Where is my, precept? Sorry precept. Fagot. What do you think?
Doc, letter D po.
Yes, pwede mag-duet. Okay, orchestra tayo, letter D. Yes, escitalopram is an SSRI. Fluvoxamine is also an SSRI. Moclobemide is Maui. I won't do that. I won't give my patient Maui. Maybe venlafaxine. But of course, the other 2 also. But what's being asked here is your serotonin and norepinephrine reuptake inhibitor. It's probably overwhelming. I understand. But if you use it and use it and use it, it's gonna be like off your head. So there. Okay. A 7-year-old female, a child, I'm a child psychiatrist, was brought for consult due to intense fear of cats. During therapy, can you imagine afraid of cats? And I know most of you are cat lovers, but I'm a dog lover. So there. He was, sinasabi pa, no? He was able to conquer his fear by repeatedly watching his older sister hold a cat. So parang naano na siya, nasesensitize, nadidesensitize. Diba? Hindi mo kailangan ingudngud yung pusa doon kasi baka mag-anxiety reaction yung pusa sa atin, sa'yo. Which of the following form of psychotherapy was used in this case? Wild guess. Anybody? Palagay nyo, ano? Supportive ba yun? Behavior, cognitive, or psychodynamic psychotherapy?
Behavior therapy po, Doc.
Yes, thank you, Miss Alangan. Behavior therapy. So, minsan may behavior cognitive therapy, di ba? Pakita mo yan, tapos tanongin mo yung patient, anong nangyari, cognitive, o sleep, di ba? O you think, ganyan. So, ito, behavior therapy lang. Okay? So, supportive is another way. Don't go too deep using psychotherapy. It will have its own place. But this example is the use of behavior therapy. Thank you. Okay. A patient Sought consult due to recurrent episodes of palpitations, tremor, shortness of breath, and dizziness that usually lasts for a few minutes. Because of this, he is always worried and afraid that these attacks would occur, especially when he is outside, and cause him to die. A physical and laboratory examination were unremarkable, and he has no history of illicit drug use. Which of the following should be considered as first line of medication? What do you think? Anybody? Wild guess? Remember what is clomipramine? Clomipramine is also a parang ano it's like your it's like it's a tetracyclic antidepressant. It's like your TCAs. It's not so good for this condition. You know, I won't use the TCA here. It's usually used for OCDs. Your pramine, you know, your anafranils, etc. Okay, both B and C are under what classification? They're MAUIs. You can go back to your notes, they're MAUIs. Monoamine oxidase inhibitor. So you know the danger of this. You know, so what would be best for this patient on a first line basis would be sertraline. Winner yung SNRI. It sounds like a panic attack. Because of this, he is always worried and afraid that these attacks would occur, especially when he is outside and cause him to die. Can you imagine? Parang agoraphobic na, hindi na siguro ito lalabas ng bahay. So if you look at your list, the panic attack of this and agoraphobia, you give an SNRI or an SSRI in this particular, your sertraline. Okay? I'm still down to another. Okay. So this is the last. My timing is good. A 75-year-old female sought consult due to excessive worrying about her responsibilities in taking care of her grandchild. She would keep on thinking about the chores she needs to do the next day and would have difficulty in sleeping, difficulty concentrating, and feeling restless at night. Upon interview, you noted that she is maintained on several medications for her liver and kidney problems. She also admitted being fond of eating aged cheese. Cheese, remember your tyramine. Which of the following medications is best suited for this patient? So ano kayang ano to? Excessive worrying. Ano to? There's excessive worrying. This sounds like what already? Winner si panic disorder ba? Si generalized anxiety disorder ba? O social anxiety disorder ba? When you hear excessive worry. Anybody? Well, yes. Okay.
Generalized anxiety disorder po, Doc.
Yes, yeah. Generalized anxiety. Thank you, whoever you are. Thank you. So, syempre, alam na natin sino yung first line, di ba? Tapos, ano ba yung clomipramine? I mean, that's not even part of first line medications. I wouldn't choose that, maybe for OCD. Clomipramine used to be used, you know, it's a tetracyclic antidepressant. So, with not too good effects on the heart and the other systems. And your phenelzine, remember, is a MAUI. So the choice would be C and D. Between the two, which would be your better choice? Wild guess again. Last.
Doc, letter D po.
Yeah, okay, letter D, it would be that. Because that would be a choice, very good also. But if you look at this, you know, paroxetine is also very good kasi for patients who are, look, oh, for me, she would keep on thinking the chore she needs to do and would have difficulty in sleeping and difficulty in concentrating and feeling restless at night. So, tapos ang dami rin niyang ano. If you look at your chart, you know, if you please look at your chart, ang ano kasi, yung escitalopram, it is alerting, kinda less sedating. And paroxetine also is quite a drug that can make your patient sleep. Okay, and I'm looking at my own chart now. Well, it's also good for GAD and also your paroxetine, but I think the winner here is because sedating si paroxetine. Sedating si paroxetine. But they're both good for panic disorder, social anxiety disorder, and generalized anxiety disorder. What do you think? Is there any question? Are you fine with the interaction and the test questions sample? Let's not look at this as test questions, but think problems that will make you think of the lectures that we had, the combination, the choices, etc. Sounds overwhelming, but only because we're starting lectures this way in third year. But you'll all get better at this. Okay, so this is it. It's 11:03 na pala. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank
Happy
you po,
weekend.
Doc.
Enjoy your
Thank you
vacation.
po, Doc.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you stayed on. Bye. Bye, everybody.